Well, racing fans, I trust that you're well, and we are now previewing Gallop TV's preview show for Tuesday, the 4th of April, where we race at Turffontein on the inside track, and just having a look at the menu on what is on offer for the day. Well, it is 8 races on the card, and of course, race number 1 will begin at 12:30. And all things being equal, we should end off the meeting at 16:25. All the exotics are on offer, and race number 1 will start off the bar pot. And Alistair Cohen joining us for this preview. Ali, weekend's racing, we were treated to some great racing from Turffontein, and of course, it was really nice to see the likes of cousin Casey, back in the province in KZN, and of course aiming for this year's Hollywoodbets Durbanville, because he is the ruling favorite.
Yeah, I thought it was a good introduction. Good day to all the viewers, to all the racing fans. And another week has now begun, and we get towards Turffontein on the inside track on this Tuesday. Just a quick recap. 2 months ago, you asked me if there was a chance of any horse winning the Volker Triple Tiara World Sports Betting Triple Crown. The answer was an emphatic no. I think we all agreed on that. But I don't know if we come out of either series much wiser with regard to the 3-year-old D's. There's nothing that really stands out head and shoulders. I was encouraged with the run from Anfield Rocket in the HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes. I think the further he goes, the better he'll be. I think he could be set up nicely for races like the Daily News and the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. But then how does the Joburg form stack up to cousin Casey, who of course ran in the World Sports Betting Cape Met? I thought it was a good yet unspectacular return from cousin Casey, but no doubt lots of meat left on the bone going in for the rest of the season.
Without trying to single out, just one of the features, but if I had to pick out a highlight on the day at Turffontein, I really enjoyed that win for Stephen Chetty. The fact that he owned the horse, he bred the horse, and such a lovely story with his entire family there. I mean, that really warmed the heart.
I think you're spot on, Dees. I think as opposed to performance, I think the stories from Turffontein were probably better than performances. The whole Son of Raj circle moment that he bred the horse, he raced the mother Pro Diana. Keegan de Mello rode Stephen Chetty's first winner, and now he's won the Grade 1 South African Derby. So that was a beautiful moment. And obviously with the Bridget Oppenheimer Wilkebos Oaks going to Mary Slacks, none other, trained by Lucky Houdelakis from the family of Illa de Vittoria, and then Candice Bass Robinson's raid, which worked to perfection with Triple Fortune and the HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes. I think if you ran that race now 100 times, Triple Fortune wins 99 of them. So, I agree. From a performance perspective, maybe a 6 out of 10, but from a story perspective, 11 out of 10.
Yeah, I must say Triple Fortune, a plan executed to the T. Race number 1, we'll start off the bar pot. It's at 12:30 at the time of recording. Number 1 is a scratching. Of course, that will run at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Monday. And we have 9 runners that go to post. I'll give you the betting with horses in single figures, Alistair. Number 2 at 13-10. Number 3 at 18-10. Number 5 at 8-1. And then number 10, which is the filly in the race, one of 2 fillies in the race, numbers 9 and 10. She's trading at 15-2. These 2 horses, 2 and 3, are they the obvious inclusions in the bar pot, or it looks a bit, tricky?
I think you need 2 of 3 runners in the bar pot here, Dees. I've narrowed it down to 3 at the top of the boards. A little bit disappointed with the betting that you've quoted. I thought we'd get a better price about number 10, Time to the Moon, who stayed on quite strongly last time on the inside track and going an extra 250 metres. I think will suit this daughter of Time Thief to perfection. The mother was also trained by Wayo Marling, and obviously Wayo's on the back of a Group 1 South African Derby, not his first either. Thomas and Ume takes the ride. I found that a little bit puzzling because Sam Mosia is generally Wayo's go-to, but he's gone with number 3, I'm a Man, who will be better with that first run on the half odds under the belt. I thought it was a fair run. There was money for him, so I'd stay on side with him. But the horse they probably all need to beat is number 2, Silver Tudor. Siam Kumbuzi takes the ride for Sean Terry. I know that Sean's experimenting with a lot of work riders now that his main man, Joe Gwingwi's, has gone to Japan. So it's an opportunity for one of the work riders to prove themselves with a powerful yard, and it could be a nice chance for the I have to say, very, very well-spoken Sia Umkumbuzi to set the tone with Sean. Second one after a rest, I thought his return behind Sharapova was a fair performance. There's obviously not much strong form to speak of in the opener at Turffontein. So I think the winner comes from one of those three: 2, 3, or 10. The value undoubtedly number 10 at 15-2.
2, 3, and 10 are the numbers for Alistair in the first leg of that bar pot, and hopefully we can try and double up there in leg number 1. The place accumulator will begin in leg number 2, race number 2, and it'll be leg 2 of that bar pot. It's over 1,200 meters. It's a juvenile plate for fillies, and a lot of unknowns in the race, but they're betting like this, Alistair. Number 5, Mary's Green Light at 16-10. Number 6, which is Miss Shavi at 5-2. Then the first timer, number 7, moving in at 9-2, and another first timer, number 8, Nka Island at 11-2. Yeah, I think this horse, number 5, Mary's Green Light, the cock horse, after watching that first start, no surprise, maybe the right horse in the race, but I must admit, I like the run of Miss Shavi last time out, Alistair.
ARDs, I'm firmly with number 5, Miss Mary's Green Light here. I think if you had to ask Stuart Pettigrew, call me when you need me versus Miss Shivey, which one? I think he'd emphatically say, call me when you need me. There was a lot of noise before she made her debut, and far less noise when Miss Shivey made her debut. So, and call me when you need me is obviously run at feature race level, although she didn't win. The fact is she was tested at those deep waters, and she certainly swam better than she sung. So I think the line of form suggests that number 5, Mary's Green Light, is the right one. The drop in distance for number 6, Miss Shavy, could yield even better. She comes out of gate 1, which is obviously a huge advantage. The first timers are not all of them, but some of the first timers are nicely bred. Certainly numbers 3, 4, and 7 are worth a market check, but I know nothing about them. Just going to the top of the computer form to see what the trainers may have commented. Number 3, Brett Crawford says working well, may need the run. 4, Roy Magnus says Lady Elliot will need the experience. And, well, whatever this means from Johan Janse van Vuren. Number 7, moving in, green but smart. Just a quick disclaimer with Roy Magnus horses. You would have noticed on Saturday he scratched a few horses because of abnormal respiratory noises, and the runners on Thursday ran poorly. There is an issue with quite a few trainers at Randjiesfontein, so it's wrong for me to say let the storm pass, because the storm's going to pass and punches are going to be on the back foot one of these days when you're wary of that. So if there's any market support, or if Lady Elliot looks well going down to the start, please respect that. But just bear in mind that some yards are struggling at Randjiesfontein. Funny enough, I think Mark de Kock's another one with a few temperatures as well. So there's a slight disclaimer with race 2, but all things being equal, 5, Mary's Green Light, the one to beat. Respect for number 6, Miss Shavy, and watch the market on the first timers.
I think let's play it safe there. Numbers 5 and 6 could be the right play there in the place accumulator, and you have every chance of doubling up if any of these first timers are not forward enough to make their presence felt first time out. Race number 3 is over 1,200 meters, and this is the big one, the Pick 6. It's a maiden juvenile plate. And with lots of first timers, it does help narrow down the selections, because you can use that first timer rule in the Pick 6. Well, I'll tell you how they're betting. Number 1, Dreamland, who is a first timer from the stable of Lucky Huda Larkers. That's trading at 9-2. And I think that's the only first timer in single figures, because the other 2 horses are very tight in the betting market. Number 5, Lincoln Navigator, 2-1. And number 8, which is Zenovi, that's at 18-10. I don't know if you're going to be able to split these 2 horses in the Pick 6, but they look like the obvious 2 horses, numbers 5 and 8, and I'm surely with these 2 runners, I think we'll use a baseball term, safe.
Yeah, that's my Pick 6. My Pick 6 is my suggested bets of the day, and I've gone 5 and 8 because I can't see any of the other race runners finishing in front of them. Push for a selection. I'm pretty confident that number 5, Lincoln Navigator, would be the right one. I don't like adjusting runs from different days, but Lincoln Navigator gave American Graffiti 5 kilos, and finished less than 2 lengths behind. And Zenobi ran Let's Adjust It to level weights with American Graffiti and was 1.5 lengths behind. So I think that gives Lincoln Navigator the slight advantage. Gavin Larena takes around 4 Johan Janssen van Vuren. It wouldn't be Johan style to run from a draw 9 out of 10, which is an interesting dynamic to the race. But all in all, I think of the race runners, he is the right one. Again, lots of well-bred first-timers here. From the pick six perspective, it would be nice to potentially double up. The most interesting first-timer, funny enough, is number 10, Damo Star, full sister to Feather Boa. And I remember her at the sales, there was almost a hush that she went for 160,000 rand. There was expected to be a lot more interest in her, but DJ Jazzy D Racing Syndicate managed to steal her for 160,000 rand, and she's a full sister to a Group 1 placed filly. So although it's bound to be a lot too sharp for number 10 Damastar, but if she runs on nicely, she's one to take note of. And then obviously number 1 Dreamland and 4 Just Var are 2 horses to watch very closely. But I know nothing about them again, and I think number 5 Lincoln Navigator is the race runner to beat in the opening leg of the Pick Six.
On pedigree, well spotted there with number 10, because DJ Jazzy was a good mate of mine. He actually phoned me up and said that was an absolute steal on pedigree. Well, we'll see how she goes, number 10, Damage Star. Then on to race number 5, and this is over 1,450 meters. It's a maiden plate for fillies and mares. And this is how they're betting here, Alistair. Number 1, Spirit Princess at 7-1. Number 2, Powers That Be at 6-1. Then we have 4 Efficient Trade at 7-1, 5 Sudden Style at 8-1. And they got this 2-year-old, number 10, which is Platina Princess, at 9-10, race number 4. 9-10. What you make of this third race and the way they're betting here, especially with the 2-year-old?
I can't take 9-10 on. This is the first 2-year-old to take on older company. So we're going in blind here. I'll tell you why she is 9-10 is because the horse who beat her, Egyptian Mao, is held in the highest regard. At Turffontein on Saturday, even though we didn't have any 2-year-old features, I'm not exaggerating, maybe 5 people came up to me and said, Lucky's horse, Egyptian Mao, is going to win every 2-year-old feature on the half-old. So that's the nursery. I think that's still to come. So I think that's the line of thinking for bookmakers to play it safe at number 10, Platina Princess. Look, it was a very good run. She didn't look like running second throughout. She's off the bridle a long way, and the extra 250 meters looked set to suit her. But 9-10 against these older individuals who, to be fair, are limited. It'll take a braver man than me. So I've got 3 horses in my pick 6. My other 2 are number 4, Efficient Trader, and 5, Southern Style. Southern Style is a long-time battler, but I have an inkling that she's not too far away. Ashley Fortune had a wretched day on Saturday, unfortunately. She expected a lot better than what she got, but she'll bounce back. There's absolutely no doubt. Top yard, and she's a top horsewoman, and I'm sure Ryan Munger would like to leave Canada with a few winners for Ashley, because obviously Ashley's done a lot for Ryan, and I'm sure he'd like to return the favour before he leaves. And then number 4, Efficient Trader, very interesting, because I actually watched that race. I wasn't at Turffontein on the 16th of March. I was elsewhere, and Sean Terry was at the same place as me, and we watched the race together. And after that, Sean never said another word for about an hour. It was obviously disappointing that the saddle slipped, and poor old Mkumbuzi was of absolutely no assistance to Written in the Sand. And he also came back underweight because the lead bag slipped very, very early on in the race. But until the final 200 meters, and yes, she was carrying a lighter weight and she was an awkward ride and absolutely nothing was going right, but until the final 200 meters, she was in the hunt and looked like she had run a place. So when you look through what 14th last disqualified in distance shows, number 4, Efficient Trader, is definitely worth another chance, because especially her run to Slinky Mapimpi over this distance at the Vaal does put her in the race. So I think that she might be a nice, good, solid swinger exactor horse. Nice rover in those bets, number 4, Efficient Trader. I wouldn't go mad about her winning, but I think she'll be in the top 3.
Having a look at the weight for age scale this time of the year, as Alistair mentioned, with the 2-year-old, it's 12.5 kgs over 1,450 meters, and with 3-year-olds, it's 2.5 kgs. I just did a quick calculation here, with the highest rated other horse in the race being Spirit Princess, what's at a net 70. You are looking at Platina Princess to run to an 87 to possibly dead heat with number 1 Spirit Princess. So you're going to have to make a decision on what you think, because Alistair's made a valid point. If Egyptian Ma is one of the better, if not the best 2-year-old up in Gauteng, then she should be closer to 100, maybe even 100 plus in the ratings. Well, number 10, Platina Princess, is the 9 to 10 shot. Are you going to play to beat it or not? Well, Alistair's run for cover there with numbers 4 and 5. And I think you're going to have to give number 1 a look if you're playing it wider, Spirit Princess. On to race number 5. It's over 1,600 meters. Scratched at the time of recording is horse number 1, Tulip Tree. They're betting number 2, 4 to 1, 3 at 5 to 1. By the way, Randall Simons is not running. I've got a replacement in race number 5 for horse number 4, Diego de Gavea. That's at 7 to 2. 6, Sister Light is at 5 to 2. 8, Be in My Bonnet at 4 to 1. And 9, Escape Artist at 7 to 1. Well, the fixed odds betting market, they're trying to tell you that it's wide open because they got a few runners in single figures. And I think this is the type of race where if you want to play for a result, the best way to play it is possibly include the field. But what are we going to do in, a bet like the Pick 6 or the Place Accumulator? Can we narrow it down?
An issue with going field, these, is that you're not going to get too much easier throughout the card. So I think you're going to have to try and narrow it down. I've gone with 4 horses here, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And I'm a bit uncomfortable about leaving out 8 and 9, but I've taken the chance to say that Escape Artist's win is not at the same level as some of the heavier weights in this race. So in no particular order, number 2, Black Silver, fair run on local debut, finishing 2.5 lengths behind Captain Peg. She finished off the race really nicely. If she handles the tight turning inside track, I think she'll be right there. She's obviously out of the great mare, Ebony Flyer. Number 3, Unconditional Love. She gets the services of Cabello Matsunyani out of trap number 1. What you see is what you get with her. Winning comes at a premium, but she's knocking at the door. She's the type of confidence filly that when she wins, she'll probably win a couple on the trot. I'm disappointed that Pettigrew scratched number 1, Tulip Tree, but I was going to make a strong case for number 4, Queen of Smoke, on weight turnarounds, but sadly we don't get that opportunity. But all in all, I think Queen of Smoke is above average. I think she'll be effective in a race of this nature, so she's got to be in the play. And then number 6, Sister Light. At a push, I'd make her the horse they all need to beat. I thought her run in the Jacaranda last time was very good. I watched that race from the commentary box. Nico called it, and the first thing that we said when we watched the replay is next time Sister Light runs, make sure that she's in the play. So here she is. Next time she was running, she was steady to a crucial stage. 1,600 meters, potentially a little bit on the sharp side, but she has won over 1,400 meters, beating Emerald Princess, who of course came out and ran a place in the Sycamore Sprint subsequently. So I think she brings some solid form lines into the picture. I think number 6, Sister Light's the one they all need to beat, but an unconvincing first choice. I think number 2, Black Silver, if she handles the inside track, is their biggest danger. And then obviously the 2 mentioned are, like I said, above average and worth having a look at.
Conditional Love, just a form update. She ran 4th. She was 5 lengths behind Stormy Winter last time out. And if you're looking for one more, well, this horse 8, Be in My Bonnet, she's unexposed compared to the rest of the field. A lightly raced 3-year-old, and she's got a very low weight. And I think her post-maiden runs are not the worst. And she looks like, the way she races, that the extra distance is definitely going to suit her much better. Race number 6, over 1,600 meters. And this is how they're betting in these fillies and mares D division class. Number 1 at 11 to 2. Number 2 at odd price, 23 to 10. Number 3 at 8 to 1. 4 at 8 to 1. 5 at 11 to 2. 6 at 9 to 2. And then other runners are 10 to 1 and better the balance. Yep, you mentioned, well, it's maybe a thankless task putting the field in the previous race where you can possibly try and narrow it down. If you want to try and beat number 2 LMB here, then you are looking to try and narrow it down with the minimum spend. And I think you'll do well to try and get through it. Let's call it 5 runners here, Alistair.
Yeah, Dees, this is the hardest race on the card. I've gone with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runners. They are 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9. If LMB was drawn better, I would be very tempted to banker her, but she's coming back from a layoff and she's got a bad draw, and her running style, I think she's I think she's pretty limited in how she races. So I don't think Simanga Khumalo is going to be forced to send her, and I wouldn't be one to drop her in and ride her for luck. Not in this race where there's not too much evidence of pace. There's nothing that's going to go hammering off to the front. So it's going to be very interesting to see how LMB goes. She is just totally a hostage to fortune in the race. The horse to beat on black and white, yes, but there's a lot against her. If she is to win, and she can definitely win, and I'm not saying that she can't win, but if she is to win, then I'd make sure that I back up with her next time out. In no particular order, number 1, Memorial Day, I thought ran a good race last time. Gavin Larena gets the best out of her, so that's got to be taken on board. Her penultimate start was probably at a level a bit too strong for her straight out the maiden, so I think coming back to these calmer waters last time helped her out. I know she's got top weight. I know that overall she's limited, but if she's going to be competitive, it will be a race like this. Number 4, October Fair is in. Sean Terry trains and Keegan DeMello takes the ride. The last start was franked by Apache Fighter, who she gave weight to, and Apache Fighter subsequently won the Sun Chariot Stakes in good style. I know that we're not comparing apples with apples from 1,800 to 2,400 meters from Apache Fighter, but the points of the form has been franked. Number 4, Let's Cruise. Excellent last run behind Escape Artist. If Escape Artist runs well a race earlier, then that will benefit the chances of number 5, Let's Cruise. The stable companion, number 6, Quasi's Lady. A good winner last time out. I didn't like her at all last time, but I'm more of a believer now. I was just bitten too many times by number 6, Quasi's Lady, so now she's back in my good books, even though I missed out with her. And then number 9 on the card, Mama Quera. I give Mama Quera a good chance here, actually. Stepping up in distance, got to be a question mark because she runs like she'll get a mile, but her record over a mile is not very good. But I saw enough from her last time that leads me to believe that she can't be all that far away. Handicap has helped her again. She's down to the 62. She's got to be very, very close to winning.
Yeah, I think I like your rule here, or my rule, because you've gone the 6 runners, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9, and at the time of recording, it's a field of 14, so we can actually include one more. I'll just keep an eye on the horse, number 10, Queen Bomi. I know that she's been suspended and she's had problems with bleeding in the past. Of course, we haven't seen her since the end of last season. But I think just keep a close eye on her and how she comes back. She may not be ready to win this time round. And if she's over with her bleeding issues, which is obviously the obvious concern, I'm expecting her to be competitive there. Maybe that's the one that you can include in larger pick 6 pounds. Race number 7 over 1,800 meters. It's a classified stakes. This is how they're betting. Number 1 at 33 to 10. Number 3 at the time of recording is a scratching. Number 4, Go Flickety at 23 to 10. 5 at 4 to 1. 6 at 7 to 2. 8 at, Wild Forever at 8 to 1. And it is 10 to 1 and Better the Balance. Very interesting that this filly, of course, she used to be with Gavin, now with son Garrett. Number 4, Go Flickety. The way she won over 2,600 meters, she drops in distance, but maybe the first run for Garrett, etc., he just wants to see how she goes. But she looks like 2,000 meters plus is her best performances to date.
Yeah, Deez, I hope I haven't misread this race. I had 1, 3, 4, and 6, but now number 3 is scrapped. So we got an opportunity to include one other. To
number
avoid
5. We have to include number 5, Yali. I'm promising.
Okay, well, let's go number 5.
Number 5, please. We have to include number 5. I mean, I went for this horse at the penultimate run. Wow, close. Last time out, I just thought one pace, but 1,800 meters better. The port draw is not a negative for this type of horse. I actually look at it as a positive. Pia Samanga set towards the back of the field and let it go as they get into that elbow.
Well, Khumalo gets the best out of number 5, Oyster King. So, all right, that's fine. We'll replace 3 with 5 because Oyster King is one of those. Like I said, I hope I haven't misread this because number 4, Go Flickety, spot on. The further she goes, the better she'll be. She got an easy lead last time, but she knuckled down to beat Namakwa Blossom, who made no show in the Bridget Oppenheimer Wilkeborstrift Oaks on Saturday. But, that was a massive step up in class. It was worth the chance because she obviously stays well. Dropping in distance, yes, a concern, but she She's won over 2,000 meters before. You got to back her up because she's improving. The horse to beat here is number 1, Call Me Master, who stayed on very strongly last time behind Zuzan. Chase Morjan is back on board. I think he's now down to a workable rating from a 77 down to a 75 in no time at all. Zuzan ran with credit on Saturday, although being well beaten by Tabi Bua. Zuzan was best of the rest, so I think the form is looking okay. And I think that, to be honest, I actually think Call Me Master's just a lot better than the opposition he faces today. I know that he's got to give weight all round, but I think he's earned that. So number 1, Call Me Master, the horse they all need to beat. 4, Go Flickety, we've spoken about. Number 5, Oyster King is your contribution. And then number 6, Romeo's Magic. Another horse who stayed on quite strongly last time out. Gavin Lorena stays on board here for Brett Warren. I don't think he's the most reliable around number 6, Romeo's Magic, but he's the type of, I think he runs in cycles, and I think getting towards winter is a lot better for number 6, Romeo's Magic. There's still a bit of sting in the ground. There was a little bit of rain around over the weekend, so that might count against number 6, Romeo's Magic. But when the grass goes brown, he's a different horse. And I think, like I said, it sounds ridiculous, but when the weather turns on the half, it gets a little bit colder, and number 6, Romeo's Magic tends to do a lot better. So I don't think he'll be all that far away.
This horse, Wild Forever, last time I was blinkers, 2,000 meters, came up under the radar there, Alistair, just judging by the odds, 25 to 1.
So a few things with Wild Forever. It was actually the first time she had a proper race. Her first start was over the wrong distance. We all knew that. And then she had horrible issues coming out of the stalls in her next 2 starts, if you have a look at all of those. So it all went horribly wrong. So the first time that everything went according to plan was last time. If Candice was in better form, I would have included number 8, Wild Forever, but she's working around the clock to get things right. She's one of the yards at Ryan-Fontein that's struggling with high blood counts and temperatures at the moment. So I hope Wild Forever does something, and it'll be. Sean Conway is a lovely guy, lovely owner of number 8, Wild Forever. He's based in Ireland, but put it like this: if she ran a place, it would feel like a win, and if she wins, it would be like a Group 1 win.
Let's move into race number 8, and this is over 1,200 meters, classified stakes. Hopefully things are going according to plan, and we're in the lucky last running and everything. Number 1 is a card scratching. This is the way they're betting. Number 3 at 5 to 1, number 4 at 17 to 10, 5 at 33 to 10, the 2 stable companions on top of betting boards. And then I will tell you that number 10, Mescal, after winning and beating Quandary last time out, the new merit rating is a 69, so that will carry 56 kgs. That's the new weight for number 10, Mescal. It is a race where Jan Janssen van Vieren, he holds 2 aces, but could there be a river card here?
I hope that it goes Johan's way. I think Johan will win it. If I had to choose one, it would be number 5, Permesso Avanti, over number 4, Nettleton. Nettleton was all the rage last time. She just got in. I must be honest, I don't know about her over 1,200 meters, but it's worth a chance. Gavin Lorena is back on board. Iron Sky got... Iron Sky's going to win soon, but I don't know how much he's going to win past a maiden. And then the third horse, after speaking to Johan afterwards, the third horse is also trained by Johan and doesn't show anything at work, is Viva de Janeiro. So they were a little bit worried that got too close to number 4, Nettleton, hence the support that there was. So I'm going to go with number 5, Permesso Avanti, who ran behind Ozenkur just 10 days ago. Ozenkur is now on a hat-trick the next time he runs. I know Permesso Avanti hasn't won since her debut, but she's now come down to where she's competitive. I think she showed last time. The second horse in that run, Storm Dictator, was a very, very unlucky 4th on Saturday, and I think there's enough in favour of number 5, Permesso Avanti, to beat these horses in the final race. We all know that obviously fillies and mares get a good sex allowance when it comes to these classified stakes, so Permesso Avanti comes in joint best weighted with number 2, Meteoric, who I think the handicapper is absolutely punished out of the range for a while until she's down to a low 70. So I'm going to go with number 5, Permesso Avanti, to beat the unknown number 4, Nettleton, who could have any amount of improvement. Just with regard to Mescal, it would be Fani Bronco style to back the Son of Flower Alley up, obviously an extra 2.5 kilos on the back of number 10, Mescal. That's not going to help, but he was a good winner on Saturday. It's a similar type of field, but I think it might be a little bit too short from 1,200 meters on the inside track. Might just catch him out. I think he'll be running on when the race is all over.
Well, Alistair of the opinion that Johan's 2 aces good enough to win this hand. Race number 8 over 1,200 meters. Alistair, you mentioned you've given a pick 6. You just want to go through your numbers and that perm?
Yep, pick 6 begins on race number 3. On this Turffontein card, I've gone with 5 and 8 in the race that a first-timer could win. So just use that first-timer rule to your advantage. If you have a bit of extra budget, you hear something, you know something, or watch them go down to the start that catches your eye, take advantage of that and potentially double up. By 4, 5, and 10 in the second leg, so I've gone with Efficient Trader along with number 5 on the card and number 10, Patina Princess. By 2, 3, 4, and 6. In the fifth race, which is leg 3 of the pick 6. A whole lot of horses in race 6. Don't like the race at all. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9. And then the penultimate leg, number 3, is a scratching. So we've replaced that with number 5, Oyster King. So it becomes 1, 4, 5, and 6. And the final race, Johan Janse van Vuren to win it with 4 and 5.
Absolute pleasure, Alistair. Have a blast and all the best. Are you calling on Tuesday? I see you're doing some calling now up in Gauteng. You're back in the box.
Yeah, I'm not working Tuesday or Thursday. The next you'll hear from me will actually be on Wednesday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. I'm really, really looking forward to that. And that's a good card as well. So that's the next time I'm in the box. And then again on Saturday at Turffontein.
Thanks to Alistair Cohen and to you, the viewer, the valued racing fan. Have a blast. Find all the winners. Make a huge profit on this Tuesday at the Turffontein Inside Track. And from the entire team at Gallop TV and myself, Dee Steinen, until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.